Hello, hello guys! This is the A08 campaign that I've been hunting the past week. The deadline is now just over. You see the results in the top right. Cypher in first, I got second. Tylos makes the third place, Ujima in fourth. It was basically a battle with Tylos and Ujima for second, which I basically escaped. And now today I was even thinking about attacking Cypher. But that did not work out. Time was then too short to make that. I was also not really sure if I want to, and Cypher was also defending himself on the last day. You can see some of my positions here. I have a few world records. The last one that I got was map 01. Some of the second places here in the back were retaken by Cypher. Some of them I lost to other players, but didn't replay them. We will now go through all the records, because the records have been secret, as you can see on this map, where I hope that once we reach this map they will be not secret anymore. But on the other tracks we can see down the times and we can see the replays. And yeah, let's start with map 1 and compare a little bit what the others did and what I did. I will always show my replay first, and then I show the others, like the world record from the other players. So this goes a bit quick. Like, if we want to explain a little bit, my idea here is to release and land clean in this downhill, because then I'm able to jump into this downhill, and with that I'm able to jump into this last downhill. Even have to release for this one. So the problem is you get now wet tires, and the drop to the dirt, the nose goes down and you cannot air brake because of the wet tires. This was the random thing, but here I managed to get it somewhat clean. Then I try to jump as far right as I can. Key transition here, get some speed. This, as I said, the latest world record that I got. And yeah, before that I had, I think, a 0.7 or something, so yeah, actually was not much missing. Could have gotten that way earlier, I guess. I didn't even risk it. I wanted to go full left into the bobsleigh entry, and here everything is just PF. In this case I landed in this one, and yeah, that worked out. Now let's have a look at Cypher. He is going very diagonal. This is my early strategy, where he goes one earlier, basically, in the downhills. As you see, Oxid is close by. Yeah. But Cypher lost everything in the beginning because of that strat. That's also why I changed the strategy. He definitely caught up a lot in the ending though. So let's see what he's doing here. Oh, he got somehow a low jump and got to the left. And now he has lots of speed. Oxid somehow loses it by far. Yeah, Oxid messed up this exit out of the bobsleigh and has some probably bad landing there, while Cypher gets perfectly into the downhill. Alright, this is the first map. We go to map 2. So first of all, I show just my record. And this here is crazy. This is a snow car map, and it has several routes. Like, before I show it like this, it has forwards, booster, and it has backwards also, or I completely forgot. Forwards, it actually also has a red boost. Yeah. But somehow I tried this backwards route and it seemed good. I don't know why, but there's a difference here, I guess, right? No. Wait, then I'm actually surprised now. Why the heck is backwards better? Because backwards has only one red boost, while forwards has a yellow and a red boost. Yeah, whatever. I went backwards and I got a world record with it. For a long time I had a very bad record position, and then suddenly this run came in out of literally nowhere. That was off stream. Yeah, let's see it. I go backwards, I crash against the wall to help me turn around, and then I got two extremely good downhills here. First of all, this one was actually much better than in all my other attempts, and then also I landed in this downhill and I had a lot more speed than in any other attempt, and because of that I jumped also pretty far, almost into this downhill, and yeah, the rest here is easy. You easily land in this downhill, and you easily land in this. This is just PF. That was just the start that was somehow working. Yeah, now let's have a look at the other players. How are they driving? Are they actually all going backwards? Yeah, because everyone had to figure out the strats themselves. Okay, they actually didn't touch the wall like me, and somehow made it. Don't even know why Cypher got such a good speed out of that landing, because he overjumped it down a lot. Yeah, but okay, everyone went for the backward strat. That's what we can say. Mr. Golio, he was also up there. Yeah. Yeah, the acceleration right at the start block is better than backwards, but forwards had an extra boost. This is what surprises me a little bit. So now we go to this map. First of all, I show you again my record. I got beaten here and I haven't tried to retake it. The idea on this map is that you take the maximum speed here, at least almost the maximum speed. Then I do an air brake here to get like a bouncy landing, and I want that the nose goes down here, and with the smooth landing I get a lot of speed. You can also, however, get a better start. I once got a smooth landing here, but bounced again, and then also got a nose down into this last downhill. And this is how you can improve this time here. If you get like a double nose down, then you get a lot of speed for this way. Then you have to release actually in this jump a little bit. So, because otherwise you overjumped it last downhill. Then it's about one quarter pipe jump. You will see many quarter pipe jumps in this campaign. And here I went for this. I will show it again. It was actually a crazy good ending. The ending is completely random. So first of all, you have the start, then you have this quarter pipe jump, which was pretty good. And now here, I skipped the penalty by going slightly over this with two wheels. But that often results in completely flipping over here, which is really bad. You have to get your car stable, but I cannot land in a downhill nicely. That doesn't work with this strat. So I have to hope a little bit. And in this case here, I got here, for example, nose down and got it really good. Now the question is, what did the others do? And also interesting is always to see the times. Because everything was secret. So I have beaten Tyler by just 100, Dolitox and Ujima are just 300s in front though. But it's obvious, like, it had to be very close on this map. So I'm not very surprised, to be honest. We make Ujima on. Here, it's not that Tyler's is hard by a lot actually. So Ushima must have had the best ending out of everyone. So first of all, he had the best quarter pipe jump, and he actually just drives normal. Because if you just drive normal, you get this kind of ending. And he actually just went normal, but you see that my end is better, because before we go to the ending, I'm way further behind than in the finish. So this here is the standard ending that you just get if you don't do any shenanigans. But he got such a good quarter pipe jump, that's crazy. We have to check Tyler's now as well. What did Tyler's do? Because he went early onto the freewheel, so very inside line. And then he got all these downs, and actually it worked out. With all these nose downs he was ahead, had to release here actually. But it's miles in front. But then he overjumped here. You can really see how he went way too high. Cypher also went for my strat, you can see. Oh, Tyler had a mega good ending though. Much better than me, for example. He failed actually. So he also intended to go for this, but failed it. But similar to Ushima, he touches here with the back tires, but makes an early air brake and lands mega clean in this, and then mega clean in this as well. And almost caught back. So he had two parts extremely good and one part extremely yak. Okay. Today, no. How did I find the Kirby Cup? Was announced in TM News. And also in his Discord that I was still in. So, now to this map. Also first of all, I show you my record, and I just drove that and gave up when I didn't beat Cypher, and I said it. I said that .89 might be the time. Maybe he's safe with the 89 because it had to be close, and he indeed has an 89. Ah, so close. So basically it's all about just minimizing airtime and getting super tight corners, a bit of a NASCAR style. Especially this left turn is tough. The more inside you get it, the less airtime, the lower jump you can also do there. And then you have one drift coming up. The one drift. That was actually really good in this run as well. Here I decided to air brake, then I land clean in this. And super far right so that you have no airtime and keep the nose slide. And now we're gonna of course check out what Cypher was doing. Also first of all, he is miles behind me. What did he do in the start? Like, this is not what I expected now. He is miles behind me. He lands very early in this downhill. It was super wide. Jumps quite diagonal, lands clean in this, but is miles behind me. Like, for me, I was at my limit. So he must have found something that made him fast. Oh, just his turn here. Yeah, he jumps only slightly lower, so not really. It's not really the difference maker. Oh, here's a small difference, but doesn't matter too much because now comes a drift. Caught up in the drift. Does not really have more speed though. Oh, this hurts. Also, I don't even know what I did wrong in any of these sections, to be honest. Also, I can say that Cypher did something wrong. And I have no clue how the heck was he able to overtake me. Yeah, this is an A08 campaign. How the heck was he overtaking me in the rest of the track? Also this must be like a 10th or something like that he's behind. Now here, he is slightly further left now, so he can jump a slightly bit lower. But he didn't really catch up much here. One thing that he did is he releases now in this jump. Very shortly he released when jumping off, and he lands super early here. Gains a little bit. But how the heck did he get a better drift than me? Because my drift, if you just watch my car, looks really good. He comes from further outside. Yeah, he's now closer. But now the big next question. Why does he gain in the landing? Why does he gain in this landing? And then I intended to land more on the sausage middle. Because I land earlier there. He just goes further, shorter way. Just drives right. I help myself to hit this last transition by going like this, and I also thought it would give me a bit more speed. You see, I'm now very early on the left and can aim that transition here, and he somehow made it as well, no slide, and got ahead. Ah, wow. What a battle. What a battle. Yeah, he had a nose down, but why? Like, why did he have it and I didn't? Yeah, I don't know. We go to the next track, a track that I did not hunt further, and you can see the records are also far away. Let's see my record at first. I don't even remember which track we are watching now. Yeah, this is a random map. I had one run that could have been a lot faster, but yeah, you see it. Also this ending here is garbage because I jumped out of the water. It was very inconsistent. Also first of all, here I decided to release and land here, because if you full speed you land there and then you have another flip. My idea was that I overjumped this second thing. So there were now several options. I can also jump to the left or to the right into the downhill, and I had also one run where I landed with a lot of speed in that water. But if I go to the left or right, like to the right, it is of course tough with the angle into the last downhill. You get into the water, you have wet tires, and to the left you still had a long way on the water. Naja, and one thing that is also crucial is the entrance into the water. Here I was able to keep grip and not float. And that made this map so difficult, not floating here. Maybe in some case you also can just float and it's still fast. And then here you have wet tires, you cannot really do much air brakes, and yeah, this is not a great ending as you see. So it looks very improvable, and then I jump out here, lose all my speed. I had one run that had like easily 1.5 seconds of a lead, so probably I could have gotten with that run into the direction of top 5, but definitely not first or second. So let's have a look here after each other. First of all, the 5th person. Because I think that we will see different strats. Yeah, he for example goes for this. Interesting. So why is this faster now by so much? Okay, very interesting. Went actually for the second bounce, but steered there and made a low one. Naiko also goes into this, also does here, also lands in this. Also floats, goes earlier to the right though. Lands clean in this one downhill. Doesn't bounce up here. Is a hard. Now the admin of the cup, Joker. Joker goes to the left actually, but also takes this bounce. So I guess that my idea was just wrong. It's very similar. Yeah, they all do the similar stuff. And he gets into this downhill, and also here in clean landing and into the finish. Okay, so how do Cypher and Tylers improve this by that much? Ah, Cypher is doing my strat now. And goes into this. And floats. Okay, so actually the floating is actually the faster way. Hitting in the downhill part in the ending, one of these side plastic walls was always slowing me down when I tried. Oh my god, that was barely working. And what the fuck? And now he has more speed with... Oh god. Okay, what a wicked record though. Okay, let's go to the next map. So on this map, I have questions. That was also a track where I was really happy with my run, and then I was only 10th. You will see now why I was happy. On that bobsleigh map, I decided the first turn is an ice slide. Felt better to me. But we will see if I'm wrong, because I must be wrong with something. Now, low airtime, keeping the speed, clean exit, going a bit to the right, that pulls you to the left. You cannot go super clean into this because you have to get up. Landing clean here, it pushes me to the left. And then jump into the finish. What did the others do? Let's first of all see flow. What? But I'm coming back, but maybe it has afterwards more speed. Much faster into the ice slide and then 360. Yeah, he's slightly ahead with that. Even lower than me. He veins far left. I'm surprised that so many players survived this map. How did that actually land? And here he jumped way too high in my opinion. Why is he so far in front? Okay. Yeah, let's actually now just open everyone else. What did they do? Also, everyone is ice sliding. And most of them are doing the 360, so that is what I'm missing here. Sul's got it the best out of everyone. Talnai mega low jump. Such bobsleigh maps are so difficult for me to survive. Oh my god, what is this line? And why does this land? Oh, okay, got that amazing, but I don't know why these things work. Okay, let's go next. No, tomorrow I cannot play. might work. So, the next map is also a map where I had to give up. Okay, following. My PB is really slow, but it had the most lucky ending ever. And then at some point I couldn't care anymore trying to improve it. So apparently I'm missing 3/10. I'm easily 3/10 faster than that PB. But this ending, and behind me is a huge gap actually. Also what happened here? On this track my idea was to do the following. Here I do an air brake. And now there are two things that can happen. I land now in this downhill, okay, and then I get a certain speed, you know? And this speed either makes me land clean in this downhill, and then I have a different rhythm, or I don't land in this downhill. I don't remember what my PB is now doing, but if I land in this downhill, I have a certain rhythm, but at a later time, this rhythm becomes slower. Actually, there was some faster way where I have a different rhythm, where I land more in this downhill, I think, and then I always land in a different downhill. At some point, it turns out to be better. Now, what do I do in this PB? I land somewhere. Actually, this is why I say it's a mega slow run. Like nothing is actually good in this PB. I made everything wrong, but look at this ending. You get reactor here, zoop, boom. This is why this run is so stupid. It does not show what I intended to do. Because either I have to go into this downhill or I jump into this downhill, but I landed in between. And then everything is just about survive, survive, survive. I don't know how I never got a slowdown, especially now on that ice. And now my nose goes up. I get plastic bounces, my nose keeps to be up. And now I can tell you what usually happens at the ending here. You get this reactor in the water, and then you water bounce twice, and you have this reset here, and you have the water exit. And at this water exit, you just bounce super far away. Like you have to somehow slow down to get to the finish, to the earliest finish. So the ending was never really satisfying. But now comes this PB, gets the reactor, and just without any further water bouncing, it is just swooping over this edge where you always bounce from. And suddenly this was such a good ending, but sadly it was a good ending on a really shit start. But good starts would not have a nose up in the end, because they would be way more controlled, you know? So, we're gonna check now the people in front of me. What is Stekos doing? He's doing it slightly different here. He's getting this strat where he lands like there. Now several very smooth landings. This is exactly what I meant. Oh, and he made this. Like, I never was able, even when I landed smooth, I never made this jump here into this downhill. That never worked for me. That was one thing that was a bit annoying. I always landed in front of this. But I knew that this is possible. And then he lands clean here. Now you see how this ending looks like. And how my ghost came and almost sniped him. Even though this run looked so clean, you know. So, but where's Cypher? Okay, why is Cypher 1000? Wow! Cypher has a strat! Oh my god! That is actually sick. That is catching up? Okay, that's sick. That's sick. Who would have thought that doing a big 360 at the start block ends up in better downhills? Also, I didn't think that. I never thought about that idea. I'm also surprised that it actually works and catches up because, as I said, the Stekos line also lands clean in several downhills. So what is Yam doing? Landing in here and... gets into this one. Oh, he has it uncontrolled. Probably he gets some weird bounces like me. Yeah, he will now go up with the nose. No, he will not. Okay, I have no idea. this run is so random. Why the heck is this run fast? Like, he doesn't have any clean, super clean landings, like nowhere. He also doesn't get this. Why does Stakos not gain more time on him? And then he somehow doesn't overjump the finish. Also, that is weird. We go next. So, yeah, but the thing is, if you don't steal, like, you bounce usually. So this is on one of the tracks where I I was really happy with my run and didn't really try further to beat Cypher, and I was correct. He must have found something, because I was pretty much on my limit. So there are several ways that you can take. First of all, I didn't take a too smooth landing here, because then when you're a bit slower, you get this one better. Then into this wall ride. Then I found here small trickster. You saw it maybe. I used this to bounce, and then I get a nose down a little bit and go very diagonal, land here smooth. And now it's all about getting a clean jump into this downhill. That's really difficult to do, but you will be, if you get it good, you will be too fast. You even need to release for this jump now. And I land in the checkpoint and get into the turn. Look at this. And the speed check here is really difficult, because of a very weird gear that you have when you land down there. It's really difficult. I'm really happy with that. Now, first of all, I want to see what the other two players did. So as you see, they already lost time, because they went more diagonal and now they overjumped this. Do you see how I gained time? This is like one of the small tricks. So Tylos is actually doing my line. So now it's symmetrical, you can go left or right. Okay, also Tyler is going for a different strat. I was also not really sure what's better. He is releasing here and makes sure to land in the downhill. Not landing into the drift, but actually landing kind of clean and then drifting. It has like a different gear in this corner. Probably that's the difference. Let's see what Cypher's doing. Cypher jumps pretty similar to me. Yeah. Got that already. Oh, he got also that transition good. He also found that, like, he found all the same strats. Got it better though. Yeah, and then he goes here actually. And lands also very early there, and seemingly that's better. Okay, good. We go next. Take some time to go through 25 maps. Also, following. I have world record on this map. You saw me playing it in stream a few times. And today I took that one because I knew it's probably easy to get. Yeah, my run. How does it look like? You land clean in this. Clean in this. Then you have to land clean in that. And especially here, far right, so that you can make this jump left of the pole. That was the difficult part. Then you have a good angle for this left turn. Hold the drift long. Release, land smooth in here. Smooth in here. Many runs I lost in this ending. But in this run I got it. It still looks not perfect. It's really hard to get every transition optimal. And yeah, Cypher's run is very beatable. He only had a 0.8. Of course I didn't know that, no? I didn't know what I had to beat. I could have beaten him way earlier, to be honest. Got actually better start. Very good transition here. But did he figure out? Yeah, he didn't. Only I went left of the pole, and you see the difference. I was thinking that this is actually the trick that gives me the record here. He also didn't really have a good ending. Like, I lost so many good runs in the ending. I could have had that record miles earlier. But yeah, it seems like nobody else found that line here. Yeah, I'm the only one jumping left of the pole, and that makes such a big difference there. Okay, next map, and it is 1000 to Cypher, guys. Oh my god. So there is a backstory to this track. This is an A08, no, this is basically a weekly shorts A08 map. You have several lines that you can choose from. And I opened this map in stream, and literally after 5 minutes, I got the second place. I went from, I don't know, 26th or whatever, a really bad position, I went up to second. Or was I even 140th, like when I loaded into this track. And then I went to second. And it was so efficient, you know. I tried to improve this time a little bit further, but I was not able to do it quickly, and then I didn't want to ruin that efficient way to get that time. Today, I actually opened the map again, but also here I didn't want to drive it too long, and I was still not able to improve my damn PB. That PB that I drove after like 5 minutes on this track, or maybe even less than 5 minutes, have to check in one of the past streams, is actually really good, and it was missing the world record by just 1000. Let's first of all see if everyone goes the same way. The idea was to do this, and then jumping over to this booster down here. And yeah, I guess everyone is doing the same. Somehow he gets more speed here than my PB. I really struggled to get it any better, and then he jumps very diagonal, and he also got quite a better landing. Now the main thing that I tried to improve my PB, how I try to improve, is to side ramp this. Instead of jumping from here, I wanted to side ramp it. And there were also ways where you actually land a bit unsmooth. You always land a little bit unsmooth here. You cannot make it fully into the downhill. And where the car wobbles at the ground, and that gives you then a low jump off. And I can jump lower than my Ghost, to be honest. And that is how I thought I have to improve. But you see, the problem is I have a two-wheeler landing, and then comes this sharp edge here, and that costed me so much speed in many attempts that I couldn't jump far. Yeah, let's just open Cypher as well, because he is doing the same strat. Oof, what a transition. Is he releasing in this part? Yeah, when he jumps off, yeah, he is releasing here. Yeah. Unfortunate. Would have been cool if I actually got a world record immediately. Would have changed the battle for first place a lot. Having this and stealing it from Cypher is like a 40,000 points difference, you know. But I couldn't really attack my PB. And this is a map where I don't understand why is there no Cypher here. Because this is a normal skill map. Like, he easily could have scored some more points if he needs. Like, this is just driving. You can see my run here. It is basically a spiral down a tower. You always try to land in the same rhythm. Landing always at the same spot of the downhill before the checkpoint. Always the same angle. Always somewhere around the middle. But here, for example, I'm a bit off from my rhythm, but kind of saved it. Here I slow down to land in this downhill. This is far from perfect, but the records here were absolutely not hunted. So I have no idea what others did, but this was the easiest record ever. I got it after just a few minutes, and I didn't have to invest any hunting for it. That was so super strange, easy. So let's just open the other players and go to the start and see where did I gain on them. Also Rocket already completely over-rotates there. But somehow he's still equal to me. Also, okay. It's a bit strange, this map, not gonna lie. Somehow he is ahead of the others and still equal with me, even though it looked not the way I planned to drive this map, at least. Like he's over-rotating so much. Why is this actually working? But then he over-jumps this. This is his one mistake. His one mistake is that he over-jumps this. Yeah. There's not much to say about this track. Wait, someone did different line? Which map? The last one? Or on the weekly shorts type map? Then I have to go back to it. Weekly shorts 1. Okay, let me check. That's of course interesting. If there is one guy that does a different line, is it? No. Yep, actually there is. Well, not bad. And this is so similar. But this downhill is crazy that he got that. And that allowed him to get into this downhill. Then he got this one also pretty clean. Got this one decent. This one could have been slightly better. I believe he could have improved this run if he ended up smoother in this downhill here. So that he jumps a tiny bit further here. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. That's actually interesting. Let's go twice next. So the next track is having amazing scenery here. With these clouds and the lightnings. And all from the normal items, I think. Roquette has a 0.5. Okay, that's crazy. So, first of all, my run. Jumping out of the sausage, landing clean in this downhill, landing clean in this downhill with a bit of releasing, and then landing especially clean in this one. The last one is important. Then low quarter pipe jump here, very sideways. Then also another quarter pipe jump that is important. Now air brake to land then early here, taking the full booster, releasing a bit, taking the safe route through the slow-mo is just faster. So now I can say that this run here was not my fastest. You saw the second half pipe jump was a bit high. That is, I guess, the reason. This was not my best run, but there were two options how you can do the ending. And I figured out that one option is faster, so I started trying it. And this was the first really good successful run with it. And it was actually so good that I thought it's gonna be hard to improve. And I got second place with it, I think, when I drove it. But dropped to fourth. But yeah, Roquette 0.5, like there must be something still. Like I was not 4/10 behind. So the idea is I go now full speed and outside. Also you see this road here is split. You can either take the inside line and slow down a bit, or you go full speed here. The inside line allows you to take the boosters that you can see. With the full speed line here, I can get other boosters. And the important thing is to hit these boosters early and really smooth. I get that by landing in a speed slide, landing here also in a speed slide, and then boom. Basically perfect, I would say. And then into the finish. So now the question is, what did the others do? Let's first of all add everyone that is not Roquette. I am ahead of them. I am ahead of them. Cypher overtook me in this quarter pipe. Was it just a quarter pipe? I guess he overtook me just in the earlier landing. So yeah, Ushima's now also equal. Ushima goes like this. Interesting. Also Ujima has an interesting ending where he takes the inside line full speed and just jumps to here and makes this. Oh, super clean landing. Holy shit. He lands almost on the very last downhill. Yeah, okay, that is sick. Yeah, now let's have a look at Roquette. He's actually also going to the left. The left side, by the way, is grass. The right side is dirt. But I don't really think that it makes a big difference. Oh, that was close. That was close to that pillar. A much better landing here. Yeah. That's just an amazing run by Roquette. Let's see if he takes the inside line in the end. He does. Wow, he even gets there. Wow. Okay, that is a crazy run. Okay, that was literally not possible to beat. Like everything is good in this run. Every single part was amazing. Okay, next one. Another run where I'm second behind Cypher, and you saw that how I lost at the finish straight. I lost so much, and I can tell you following. This is now the map that was the biggest nightmare, and I did it in stream. I hunted it in stream. I had so many good runs. This PB here has the by far best start ever. And yesterday I had a PB that had the by far best ending ever. If I would combine these two runs, then I say it's a low point 2. But yeah, you will see Cypher overtaking me at the finish line, I can already tell you. So how does this work? This map is actually a cut. You just directly go left and then you go through these two checkpoints. Then I found out that such a trickster, such a flow trick is good here. Now you overjump this though, so I have to release a little bit, and yeah, my mistake is this. To explain it again a bit further with pausing, what makes this start so good is following. That is the weirdest start ever, because I clipped multiple parts of the checkpoints, and that is the thing. If you do a normal quarter pipe jump, you land not really on the beginning of the quarter pipe and get the best exit speed. You always land, like you always jump a bit further away from the quarter pipe. And here, however, I touch, I think, here already. And now I touch also with the back here, and both of these touches didn't slow me down. And now I land at the beginning of the quarter pipe, and it is so fast. Now comes the flow trick, small left steering before jumping off, gives me a bit of a wobbly two-wheel landing, and gives me then a nose down. And after that 6th start, I even got that trick as good as never before. And then my biggest issue was always that this jump is mega blind and that I am too fast for it. And it's hard to judge, can I release before I jump off to then land early? Is that then even good? That's always difficult. I still overjump a slight bit, but I jump to a very good spot here. And now it's very important to hit the entrance into this wall, right? Very crucial. It's not even looking bad. Now I want to speed slide a little bit on this plastic after the wall, and I make the mistake here, 12% right steering, right when I jump off and I land sideways. And I land sideways also on plastic, and it costs me the world record. That was a throw in the half. We will now see how Cypher is overtaking me, but I also want to know, did they actually get some tricksters in the beginning? Did I get something in the beginning? Kos is miles in front, for example. We have to watch Kos then as well. But what did Cypher do? He also goes mega... Yeah, he also touches. Oh, look at this. He's even ahead of me. But he doesn't do this trick. Yeah, but that helps him then here. Because if you don't do this trick, you land clean. But still, I would have won. And now you see my mistake. I mean, we all knew that this ending is gonna look like this. It was just such a throw. Such a throw. If I just go straight, I have it. But I thought I have to do some speed slides still. And then following thing, I'm actually surprised that Cypher is not losing more time on me because with this here. I thought that I would gain more. The thing is, of course, already here I'm over jumping onto the platform a little bit. And now, the way Cypher drives here, he's not over jumping this jump. He lands early here. If you just go straight, this is good. And that makes this quite easy to do. But still, I would have had it. But now the question is, Kos is also going the other way. What is Kos generally doing? Because he had the by far best start. Yeah, also, I don't know what you can say about that, but that's crazy. He gets a nose down without even doing anything. He doesn't do a flow trick. He got it because he landed on the transition from platform to plastic. I think that gave him a bug. Or what? But he must have missed the ending. Yeah, he has a super bad ending. Also, Kos threw it even more than me, and that is very difficult to do. Okay, let's go next. A track where I got world record. I was hunting it on stream as well. Neo slide here. Actually only 200s, but I think I also did only improve by 12. I must have missed the record with my previous PB by like 1,000. Or wasn't it like that? But yeah, you land here, clean, around the corner. Now this jump was difficult to abort the rotation, and ideally you land far right. So I have a lot of speed here into the uphill. Then I want to get here a nose down, so that I land on that downhill. And then there's a cut into the finish where you bounce against the wall and then jump. And this ending here is not good, because the earlier you finish, yeah, it makes in such diagonal finishes always way more of a difference than you think. And the thing is, I'm still not finishing here. I'm still not. Now I am, maybe. You can finish further left. Like, there is... This makes a huge difference. Because you see, if you would finish here already, then it would be already over 10s faster. If I was a bit further left and already hit it now. Yeah? Could even be a bit earlier than that. But yeah, let's have a look at Golio and the others. From the beginning. There will be parts where Golio is faster than me, but that's not at the start. The start is faster on my side. Cypher has a different line, we have to see later. He's quite far in front. Yeah, the snow slide liner also sometimes did. Golio has now a worse line up here. Yeah, Golio probably just gets a really good ending, because he's not super close. Yep, it's just the ending. Here you see the difference that we have. It's just the ending that allowed him to be so close. It's already difficult enough to get that finish at all. So, Cypher, he's equal with me in the beginning, kind of equal. And now he keeps grip here and goes like this. Aha. Okay. Had really big difficulties to get a clean line into this turn though. But recovered himself nicely with this double flip. And is now equal again with me, but then he didn't get the nose down and loses time again. And he didn't get the slide off the wall. Okay. It's always interesting when you see other strats, and there will be some more maps where I haven't figured out what to do, where it will be very interesting. Here I am 6th. That's a position I barely have anywhere. This is also a weekly short type map. You have many ways that you can take, and it hurts a bit to see that the world record is a 0.11 because of one following thing. So if I show you the world record, my personal best I mean, I decided to take the booster line. That means I go here slow down on the snow, take this boost, jump on this boost. So now the problem is that this jump here is not really clean. You can actually make it and land on the flat, but it actually doesn't even help you that much because of the next jump. What happens here is that I land like this and make a flip, and this run is good because this flip lands in this downhill. That helps. That is the reason why this is actually fast. Also I didn't actually go fully into this downhill, I actually bounce a little bit down these downhills, but kinda clean, and especially I get a very clean entrance into this water. Straight, without any hops, and now I get a booster here, and I jump. And now you see why I'm a bit sad, because I finish in the later finish. Now the thing is, I'm also too high to finish in these, so it is good that I went for that. But you of course wonder what could be my time if I had the same run, but I finish in these finishes. Like when I'm next to them here, you see I'm at 21.8, no? So still 22.0. That would be world record if I had this kind of run and finish in the early finishes. But I was not able to get such a run again. And here we will go one by one, because I don't know, there might be different ways as well. I don't know if everyone is going this way, because it was super inconsistent for me. So Naiko does the same but goes into the middle. I don't know how this worked. Well, what is this landing here? Why is this still fast? But now you see the difference. He is behind me, but he goes into this finish. He loses basically a little bit of speed so that it is perfect for him to get into the earlier finish. Winshed is also doing that strat. Overjumps lots of that booster, gets then more of the second booster. He actually, yeah, also flips. Wow, that fits so perfectly next to so many things. That's crazy. Cypher is doing something else. Cypher is going the full diagonal line. I also tried that one out a little bit. I realized that it's also a decent strat, but I couldn't really say what the limit is. Ah, okay. Also what makes this so good for Cypher is the idea of jumping onto the side of the pool, because here you are always faster than when you go deeper into the pool. And then he makes it look how precise that is. He is on the really far side, is so close to many things. So interesting, he had a different line, but hard to improve this further, I would think. But then comes Tyler around, and oh my god, he kept grip, but did he actually intend that, or was it just random for him? He somehow kept grip with his back wheels and gained time with that. And that gave them a lead, and now he goes however to the left, lands clean here. Yeah, he just jumps into the water. Straight. Okay. So in Ushima, already on other maps, he was going different. Then, like, he's the only one going to the left, for whatever reason. I actually hunted it to the left then, after my PB, because here are less trees to bounce. Yeah, and seemingly this was enough. And you see exactly, like, I only did not get a world record because I went into the later finish. Otherwise, like, this run here from Ushima is also just a random run, you know? But I could not really get any clean landings anymore there, so I couldn't improve my time further. But seems like I had the correct approaches. Just had to survive it. Only Cypher was doing it different. So and this here was a bit of a surprise to me that someone was able to beat it, because this was the very first map that I hunted in this campaign. The very first one. And I have beaten Cypher with a 0.4 high. So I already knew that I have the world record, and then I continued hunting it. Even though I had world record, I continued hunting, and I ended up at a 0.0. And how likely is it that someone else is coming, maybe overtakes Cypher, but finds the motivation to run further, not beating me? I would think so, that he would not immediately beat me. And then he asked himself, like, how fast do I have to get? But he actually hunted until he got me. And I didn't try to get it back now. Didn't drive this map again. But yeah, this was the first map that I hunted, and I did it off stream. Some ice slide landings on the snow, then here very inside line with icy tires on dirt. Then you want to land here clean so that you over jump this uphill. Now you have a very crucial quarter pipe jump, which was pretty good. Now more like random downhill, because you land here a little bit unsmooth. And especially this turn was weird, because you don't have 100% icy tires after that downhill. So the turn is really weird to do, and not the typical flick. Then again, you want to have the same downhills and you want to hit this ending again. The ending, the quarter pipe jump was amazing. It's not too long ago, I cannot remember where I lost time. That's too long ago, to be honest. But let's have a look at Ujima. He already does... He goes straight, Cypher as well. They kinda PF this. While I am doing shenanigans, they just go straight and they are ahead. What is this crap? Why was I actually even doing all of that stuff? Huh? Huh? Okay? Okay, that's stupid. I invested so much into this downhill, you know? Yeah, he gets that clean. It's just a clean run. I will catch up in this last quarter pipe jump because I had it so good. Okay. And also this record was beaten, and luckily I did not try to get that back, because what the heck is this? This was actually the second map I hunted. And that was also the second world record. Also when I hunted this campaign, when I started to hunt this campaign, I got immediately 2 world records on the first 2 maps that I tried. But this one got beaten now very late in the campaign by Cyclone, which is a player that I haven't seen on any other track. But yeah, following happens here. You just keep grip, jump into this, jump into this. Then here, roof it. You cannot get fully clean into this, sadly. Also maybe he did, I don't know, but usually it doesn't work. And then here comes now the interesting part, because I figured out that straight is worse than being left or right. So I went to the left, and I got here a nice landing, and then also here a nice landing. Dried my tires over the dirt, jumped over the palm tree into the finish. And that was good enough. Actually a full 10th in front. So the only thing that I can see this can be improved is if you find some way to land in this downhill here cleanly, but like how? Because the speed doesn't play a role. I mean, less speed would maybe mean that you bounce a bit later, but then you have less speed, and I'm also not sure with the strong uphill if that really makes a difference. But yeah, somehow a better landing here. Because then you would have more speed up this part, and that could change everything. Here, you see, I have this kind of landing. Now the nose goes up, and now it goes down. And this is the clean landing, and it followed by this clean landing. So this is a pretty clean downhill. If you enter this whole downhill section with more speed, you can maybe get better downhills from the beginning. Also Cyclone definitely had to find something. The start is the same. This is the same. Why is everyone ahead of me? I mean, they all went to the left, but what is different? There is one other guy on the other side that I have to figure out. It is not Cypher. I have to see Cypher later. Somehow... So yeah, Cyclone gets the best speed out of this. That's not a surprise to me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, but that was enough to dry the tires? Yeah, also really, really good run. Also what he managed to get is, with the speed that he had, air braking the very first one, nose goes down, and then it goes again down. Like it goes up here, but then immediately down. And he gets a nose down into this. Super early block to have a nose down, and he immediately lands in this one, kind of clean. I'm very surprised that the wet tires that he gets here are actually getting dried by this small thing of a landing. Super inside here, that's crazy. Okay, now... I didn't really need to do this... Yeah, I didn't really need to do this side driving. That did cost me. The others are also not doing that. On the very first, like, I did the strong zigzag. I didn't need to do that. Oh, okay. Naja, learned something again. So, this was the third map. I thought, oh, easy, I got another world record now. Especially I was looking forward to this track. And then I was only 17th with a really good run. And I didn't know what the heck am I missing here. And look at this, there is a cut. 3.4 seconds are missing. So I had never had a chance to really catch up positions. The next guy in front of me 7/10 away. So luckily I stopped playing this at some point. I also thought about that fact. Yeah, maybe I actually should have tried. I think I thought about it after I went away from the track. But the main idea that I had is that you jump earlier to the right here. I thought that this roof would be in the way though. But yeah, maybe I should have just tried it, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure that I have a really good run on the normal way. This part here is super annoying. I went with steering, then you actually jump a bit lower. And I landed clean in this, landed then in this, over jump this kind of, and yeah. And now you see how this jump looks like, with a roof hit, and then you have here a quarter pipe jump. And you land. I've beaten someone by 400s actually. Like you can actually compare with someone on position 18. Is he doing the cut or not? He actually went straight and it was again better. Man, this hurts. He gets here the cleanest landing ever. But here you see how I catch up, because this is like the one random part and I tried to make it fast for me. But you also see that I actually missed possible time in the beginning and also in the end, because he's only fourth. Wow. I thought that my quarter pipe jump was good. So, this is crazy. Okay, what a run. But yeah, let's have a look at the records. We all know what they will do. But still don't know fully how exactly it looks like. Some of them also figured that out, so I am also not in the lead, not completely. I'm catching up here a little bit. So now all of them go full to the left, jump to the right, and with a roof hit, and what a clean landing he got. What the heck? That's sick. That's sick. How does that even work? What the heck? He gets this roof hit and then like... That's so sick. This... Okay. Yeah, this map is of course now a bit annoying to see. That I didn't really try to jump to the right, because I even looked at that and I thought that's surely not possible. Why did I not just try? Naja. Now this map, a world record that I got this morning. And it was difficult, because Ujima and Roquette have really good times. following. You land sideways here and release to get that booster, then no air brake, because if you... also this here I can already tell is mega important. Yeah, this landing and the earliest possible boost touch is like super crucial and very difficult to optimize. Then here no air brake, because then the nose goes up, the back tires touch now this part and push the nose down, and this actually a very low jump that way, that you land very clean here. So now you land in this drift. This drift actually is the one part that was not perfect in this run, but the rest was really amazing. I was jumping too far right here, and I just barely survived that. Now I managed with, like I have always a bit of different speed. I managed with an air brake here that my nose goes down and touches the ground here. That's really cool, and I did not get a nose slide because it can happen that you actually have the skid marks. This drift is really difficult to hit perfectly with the exit jump and straightening out a car. Very tough. Then a bit of a diagonal jump to here and a diagonal jump to here to then land in the risky upper finish. Yeah, very tough map, especially the start here. I figured out with this run here, I figured out that landing more sideways is actually better, because in other runs I actually didn't land as sideways as I did here. Basically I lose immediately all my speed, but if you land a bit too early, then this would be super slow to basically lose all your speed with a 90-degree landing. Yeah, let's have a look at Ujima. That was definitely a tough record to beat, I can say. Yeah, also, like, oh my god, they are even far in front, like, also with this full 90-degree landing. So I could have gone even more extreme with that. Holy shit, eh. But yeah, then I gained everything in this. Like, he went very wide, but then he has to release because he's over-jumping this. I'm coming. Oh, he's still in front. He just doesn't go diagonal enough. And now you see that. Also, really, I thought my run was at the limit apart from that one drift. But now that you open the other replays, you suddenly see that there is so much more possible on this. Like, that was by far my best start, that run. By far my best start. And then you see Ujima so far ahead that you cannot even see my car. I, for example, thought that there is this plastic to the right, the black plastic. I thought maybe you can even use this, but didn't really work to be faster. So, now the next track. We have Cypher, Winched, Sylt, Stekos, Tylos, and on this map I was Yak. I could improve this by 4/10, half a second, something, but definitely not to a 41.41. I was a bit annoyed by hunting this track. It took always very long to get attempts, and the last downhill into the finish was often consistent. And then when I got good starts, it just never worked anymore. Suddenly, like at the very beginning, I got in the finish downhill every landing clean, and I didn't even have to do something for it. I just went PF. And in my good runs, that didn't work anymore. So what did I do here? Diagonal jump, clean to the booster, early to the right. Now I can tell you that this landing here is strange with a gear, like a very strange landing. I always had different exit. I tried to quickly like go into a nose slide here, but I had very different outcomes all the time. Then also here, very blind jump that I wanted to jump as slow as possible. The start of this PB was good. The problem was this cut jump, where I completely messed up my turn. And that's the thing, I hunted this map further after this PB, obviously, because this PB was shit. I landed too early, you can jump way further, but you have to watch out with the ceiling here. Like you could actually touch the ceiling, no? So in this case, I released too early, landed way too early before the checkpoint and couldn't really perform a bug slide like this. So I kinda let my car slide out, catch it, and yeah. So this is the big time loss of the run, but the start was good and the ending works. And I was not able to improve this record because the ending in every good run that I had, like it just never worked anymore. So I went for keeping grip here, and now you see one important thing happened. I already jumped off before the uphill ends. And like that, I landed in this somehow. Also, I didn't land fully clean in this, but this is crucial because I just kept full speeding and landed then perfectly in this one. And that never happened again. That happened in my first 3 attempts, including this run. And then it never happened anymore because I was usually landing clean in this downhill already, and then I was over jumping the next one, but didn't land in another downhill, and that was bad. But now I land clean in here, I land clean in here, and I have a really good ending. So start good, end good. But the middle, shit. So what did Cypher do? Sadly it goes the other way. So we cannot really compare. In before, the other side is just faster. As we can see, this is a very similar start. Oh my god. Oh, this is what I was missing. He actually lands clean in that and then releases a lot. So also not that great. Ah, who's going to the right with me? Sealed and winched. Okay, so I have a good start. So as I said, you can hit... Oh, what is he doing? As I said, you can hit the ceiling, but I didn't know you can hit it that early. Oh my god, he got such a perfect landing. I don't know what he did before. That was so yak from him, but then he got that so good. And then he just goes straight, like he doesn't do anything, it's just straight. It's definitely not the best to go straight everywhere. At least Cypher was doing the diagonal that I did. I mean, no, it works for him. It works for him. Also the problem for for me was, of course, I had not the speed that they had because I turned around in the checkpoint. I did not think that turning behind the checkpoint is faster. But that's the thing. I knew I was missing something on this track, but I also knew that I had this big time loss in my PB and I could improve it by like 4 to 5 tenths, but you never know how many positions you gain. So are the records still secret or not? No, they are not. But it's this time by Cypher. Okay, we will see different approaches, guys. We will see different lines. I approved Cypher's record, but this is not possible with my run. My run is actually crazy and I got it extremely fast today, like in 2 minutes. We start with Nico. This map is a big pyramid. You can go to the left, straight, to the right or back. And you have different surfaces. To the left you have a mix of green plastic and green grass. And this is Nico's line. He goes here, lands with some nose downs clean here, gets the rally car and goes down with the rally car. This is his line. Now we add Flow. Flow is turning around and goes down the white plastic snow ice part. And I have to add one thing. He's doing it forwards. He gets some downhills here. And lands here also clean, and then into the finish. Now we go to Tyler's. Tyler's goes the left way, like Naiko does. What am I watching? Apparently it is faster to not drive this, but just to bounce down. Naja, and I can tell you that in the cup, I was actually a bit clueless what to do in the Discovery Cup. I could only say blue is pretty bad, because you have all the time flat parts where you get also wet tires, then you will have no air control and you have moving blocks in the way everywhere, so that looked bad. In the cup I went to the right, but there were a lot of these sand blocks and I was not able to get into a rhythm. Like in the cup it was never possible for me to over jump a downhill, to skip a downhill and land in the next one, you know? That never worked. And because of that, it felt really shit to drive. Apparently to the left, that works, because you have also way less penalty here, I guess. And somehow you can get it at some point. Back I never tried. But when I loaded into this map, I had an idea. Why not just try to go back? Backwards back. And then suddenly I had very quickly a very good record, but I had to perfectionize it, and today I got a run that is basically the best you can do with this line. And it has beaten everyone that drives forwards, apart from Cypher. So look at my run. I literally just drove a backwards map here. Backwards, backwards, and there is something in this backwards that you see here already, where somehow, like, look where I land, but somehow it still gets a lot of this downhill. So the physics are a little bit different backwards with these landings, because you wouldn't think that this is so clean. Then I land in this clean, and now comes the interesting thing, this style. This makes this run suddenly so fast. In comparison to my other backwards lines, you know? Because I had already another 0.8 and Tyler had beaten that at some point. But at some point I get too fast in the backwards and I land unsmooth. And what happens here with this one is just crazy, because here I got another downhill and now look what my car is doing. It does this and lands even in that one. That is so strange. And that made this backwards line suddenly even faster. And I thought that's unbeatable if this was the best line to do on this track. Because then I even land here somewhat clean, and yeah, I have already all the momentum. It's like super good. But yeah, sadly, Cypher found a faster way. Maybe he was actually driving? Yeah, he gets into... yeah, okay. Yeah, it's all about the start in this line. Also, Queen was the fastest, you can definitely say. Yeah, it's all about this one bounce, because the green line is also completely unsmooth otherwise. But he managed to get like here early on, he managed to get, after this landing, a nose down. This does not land smooth yet, but it pushes the nose up. And now he gets a nose down into this, and now he has the speed. Because now he's able to overjump one downhill into this one, and then it's basically GG. Because from here on it is literally just PF. It's interesting that it's good to take the rally car. But yeah, it's funny that my backwards line is so different and actually was a really good strat. But I'm also surprised that Cypher always found good lines on maps like this, where you actually had to search for something. Because I thought that someone, like, if he, for example, would be hunting such a campaign, I would think that these are the maps where you can beat him because of the secret times. And similar, I thought about Cypher, but he actually figured out things himself as well a lot. So on this map, I was also a bit clueless, because I have a really bad record, also a really bad position, even though it was a decent run. You fully cut this track by directly jumping. Usually the track goes to the right, you see the booster, then you do this quarter pipe, like a half looping, and then you jump backwards into the hole, and the track is supposed to be a backwards map. But this time I'm actually going forwards, even though here it's planned to be backwards. Yeah. So the way into this hole and the landing here is quite a bit tricky, but the difference is that I now get reactor boost up, while backwards it is of course a reactor boost down. And yeah, then landing here, now I have to release quite a bit to land this clean. Now we have one jump, landing in this downhill and finishing. And this looks really clean, so I am unsure what I'm missing here. I still don't know. And I see already it is about this. Ah, Joker, thanks a lot. But wait, it is about this. Oh my god, okay. Aha. This is what I was missing. Yeah, that's Cypher's run. Also if you now see it from my perspective, you will see how everyone is just miles in front. Oh wait, actually Roquette and Naiko are doing my strat as well. And they beat me. They beat me in this wood turn. This wood turn is quite difficult because of reactor up. And it's very precise on the outside to keep the grip. So they actually drove this extremely well. Okay. Next. A08 Hala Stunt. Yeah, now comes one of the biggest LOL maps. Yo, thanks Joker. I actually tried a bit today, but then I saw that Cypher was defending. Then I went for the last hour to overtake him in case I beat 4 records from him, but that was of course tough. Yeah, so this map here, difficult. You have multiple sausage ways down. If you go straight at the start, you could even take some boosters, but I don't think that this is good. Now following, you have multiple effects. You will hit the first effect for sure, but then you have a downhill and an uphill, and you bounce from this uphill and usually overjump the other effects. I actually didn't try to release to get the second effects fully. I actually never tried that. Maybe that's the idea? As I can say that my idea was to do random reactor flights. You have reactor down and reactor up, and every line they are on different spots. And yeah, let's just see what I did. Like I quickly gave up on this track because it is too random. At least the way I did it, it is too random. But maybe there is an easy way. Maybe I just found a solution talking about it. Yeah, my idea was actually also a bit clever. I went 2 effect blocks. I took the red boost and the reactor. And then I fly. So, and now it becomes very random what happens. But this landing was actually great. I skipped the next effects, but I had a lot of speed. I skipped also these effects, because who needs effects if you want to be 14th in the leaderboard? And then I actually even managed to skip the slow-mo, but I was not able to get into the top finish here. That would of course be quite a bit faster. Yeah, so we see probably multiple different approaches. We can also watch Cyclone, who is next to me. And what the heck is he doing? He actually takes the... like, I just said I don't think that this is good, and the first replay that I watched is actually going for that. Wait, I have to see again. What did he just do? He takes reactor up, but how the heck did he keep his card controlled? Is he doing any inputs? He's just PFing. Why does he not flip? Of course I would also like to do this. I would like to float above everything, but that never happened. So I think he overtakes me because he gets the upper finish. Because I'm way too far ahead. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, now let's go to Tintin. Or Tintin. So similar start. Going bit diagonal, taking some of the downhills of these sausages. Cyclone actually with a good start there. Yeah, he is doing that. And lands on the next one. I mean, this was then a bit of the... This was a bit lucky. And he gets, without being on the roof, he got into the upper, okay. That's crazy. Oh my god, Tyler is going for these boosters. I cannot believe it. These boosters are actually good. So he's taking also this, and he slows down, and takes another reactor and the red boost, like both of them. Whoa, he overjumped the gap with that. And he overjumps this gap as well. Oh, and that doesn't even look all too random. This actually looks like you can do that. Because he has no bounces with the reactors. Yeah. Oh, I thought he's doing my strat. But no, man, I figured it out now. Now, before I opened any replay, I figured out what you could actually do. But here I again wonder, why does he not flip in this transition? Oh my god, what is this? And yeah, okay, the records are... But the thing is, if this feels too random, like in such a campaign format, you can always just skip such a map, because it doesn't matter if you are 6th or 14th. You just focus more on other tracks where you have it more under control. Yeah, great soup by Flo. This here looks actually pretty bad. But he saved it very well. Because whenever something like this happens to me, I lose my run. Then I'm jumping backwards, you know? And the reactor works against me. But he actually managed to get that. Aha, Aura is skipping. He's skipping these no break blocks. Went for the boosters. Takes here the combination of booster and like he's actually pretty far behind. Takes this reactor up. Gets even more zoops, and if the map continued there, that would have been such an amazing barrel roll. Yeah, okay, nice. What map number is this? We are close to the end. So, there are not many more. But I cannot see the number myself. So, Cypher, I have beaten this record from Tylos and Ujima and Dolitox. I got from 4th up to 1st. That was the first map that I hunted today, because I had to protect Tylos and like I had to protect myself from them overtaking me in the leaderboard. And if I get that world record, then I obviously take away big points from Tylos and also from Ujima. So this was the first one I went for. Cypher didn't even have a good record before, but overtook me then later in the day. Like this, he defended himself from me reaching him. Yeah. What did I do? What did I do here? If I talk very slow about this here, I take only a little bit of that booster so that I'm not too fast and land clean in this downhill. Now you want to have like a not so good landing on this penalty to skip most of it and to skip also most of this. This is always a bit random, what kind of speed you have out of this plastic wall, super weird. Here, land nicely in this downhill, keep grip up this. Now you have to release somehow to land as early as possible here. And now comes an interesting part in this ghost, because I got a nose down into these finishes. The finishes were amazing. The start was okay. This here, I could not really understand it, like how to jump into this, because these plastic walls, and there was also a weird gear. When you were fast, you were actually jumping shorter very often. I did not fully understand that, but I landed this good enough. I got this decent. I am not perfectly happy with this here, because it's also like, again, a plastic wall that you're stuck on, and then you're too fast. You have to release somewhere to not over jump this completely. This was okay, but I released a bit too much. You see a little extra pop. And yeah, in the ending, landing like this, braking, and in this case here, I actually got this nose down, which was a much earlier finish than you would usually get. No, actually, let's watch Tyler's and the others first, compared to my run. They are actually behind me early on, apart from Ujima, who is... What did Ujima do? Can we see that? Ujima is... Oh, having a long wheelie on the back tires, landing super far. Has a very poor entry into this wall ride. Somehow we were all very similar here. Yeah, I'm just part of them. Tyler's actually got this the best. I will overtake with my end. Ah yeah, Tyler's is actually going for this line, for the smooth line. Yeah, and you see I'm sniping that. Yeah, it's a very weird map, because when you're faster somewhere, then you're slower in the next section automatically, and yeah, hard to... Like, Cypher actually has a really slow start compared to me, but somehow this... he doesn't land super smooth as well. He actually touches also penalty here, so it's also not that great, to be honest. But this part is very good from him. Tyler's even has more speed, but Cypher found also this line and also has a nose down. Yeah, okay. There you have it. Now we go to the next track, which is Summer Jump. A track where I was really happy with my run. I hunted it in stream, and now I say I luckily gave up on it, because I cannot really see where I would gain 0.3. Yeah, first of all, my run. You keep grip. You take the risky way, of course. Jump very low and land it nice in the downhill. Take this booster gate. Land in this downhill. And now comes the very crucial outside dirt turn. With a very tough exit. Now one drift. Landing in this downhill. And a clean, like this is a very, very important quarter pipe jump, and then I found one line through the poles that I then just never changed. So, oh, sadly we get a forced camera 3 here, that sucks. We can get camera 1 back at the end of this loop here. So, now let's spectate Cypher and everyone else, and let's see where the heck does he gain time. Also, the start is the same. Also landing here, taking this bit more inside, but I have more speed. Oh, Cat is in the lead, but has the the least amount of speed. Where did Cypher gain on me? Like at this point, he jumps of course a bit lower, gets... Yeah, he has just a cleaner entry into the bobsleigh, and he gets away from me. Okay. Yeah, now the outside doors. Yeah, this was very outside at some point in this turn, so probably good. Also landing clean in this downhill, that is crucial, and this quarter pipe jump, also clean. Yeah, seems to be... Ah, found a different line, fully left. But he was already a hard, so this didn't really make the difference. Where did Roquette go? Oh, he's actually very next to me. So this is the time that I actually lost by not going there. I actually didn't really try finding different lines in the end, to be honest. Maybe I should have invested more time. And this is it. This is the campaign. So I got now, in the end, 3, 4, 5, 6 world records. And a bunch of second places as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 second places. So on 14 of the maps in the top 2. And then also here third, so 2 third places. I see 2 fourth places as well. Yeah. The 6th place is like a bit of a standalone. I was not often in this position. 1 8th place. And the other maps I kinda gave up. Like this 10th place. And then here 2 10th places actually. 14th, 17th, 34th, yeah. Okay. But with that, I'm second in the campaign. I get 35% of the prize money, of the overall prize money. And look at this. Duisburg, everything first. Huh. Yeah. Alright, so this is the campaign.